I always believed my stepmother was a cold woman who never loved me, but the night I found the locked box under her bed, I realized she wasn't cold. She was afraid. And the secret inside? It didn't just change how I saw her, it shattered everything I thought I knew about my own family. My name is Emma. I was 9 years old when my father brought home a woman named Claire and told me she would be my new mother. Claire was an elegant woman. She always dressed perfectly. She smiled at the right moments. She remembered everyone's birthdays, prepared elaborate dinners, and volunteered at my school. From the outside, she seemed perfect. But behind closed doors, she was unreachable. She never hugged me if no one was watching. She never asked how my day went. I can't remember a single time she sat by my bed when I had a nightmare. My father never noticed. "Claire loves you," he would say. "She just shows it differently." For 12 years, I thought maybe he was right. Maybe the problem was me. Maybe I just didn't know how to let her in. It happened during a weekend visit. My father was in the hospital for a routine procedure, and Claire had gone to pick up his medication. She had asked me to grab an extra blanket from the top shelf of the closet. That's when it fell. A small, dark wooden box, slightly smaller than a shoebox. It hit the floor hard, and the lock loosened slightly. I could see the corner of something inside a photograph. I should have left it alone. I knew that. But I recognized the face in the photo. It was me. Me as a baby. The woman holding me wasn't Claire, and it wasn't the mother I had been told died when I was 3. I stood there in the quiet room, my heart pounding. Then I opened the box. Inside were dozens of photographs, letters, a hospital bracelet, a birth certificate. And on that birth certificate, my birth certificate, was the name of a mother I had never heard before. A woman named Diane. When Claire came home, I was sitting at the kitchen table with the box. She walked in, saw it, and dropped the pharmacy bag from her hands. The color drained from her face instantly. "Claire, sit down," I said. My own voice surprised me calm even though my hands were shaking. She didn't speak for a long time. She just stared at the box like she had seen a ghost. Finally, she said, "I was trying to protect you." "From what? From knowing who I am?" Then she told me everything. Diane was my biological mother, but she hadn't died. She was a young woman who had gone through a severe crisis after I was born. Her postpartum depression was so overwhelming that she voluntarily gave custody to my father, believing she was protecting me from herself. But the part that broke me the most was this. Diane had recovered. She had spent years trying to rebuild her life. When I was 6, she reached out to my father and asked to see me just once. My father said no, and he made Claire promise never to tell me. Claire folded her hands on her lap. I fought with him about it, Emma, for years. Half the letters in that box are from Diane. The other half are from me letters I wrote to your father, begging him to tell you the truth. I looked at that woman, that cold, distant woman, and for the first time, I saw something else. She had been carrying my secret for me. All alone. For 15 years. I won't say the months that followed were easy. Confronting my father was one of the hardest things I've ever done. He cried. He apologized. He said he thought he was protecting me. Maybe he was. Maybe he was just afraid of losing me. But what I needed wasn't protection. I needed the truth. I met Diane on a Tuesday morning in October. She was nervous, and so was I. We sat across from each other in a small cafe. She slid a napkin across the table to me. On it, she had written, "I thought about you every single day." I won't tell you it was a fairy tale reunion. It wasn't. There were tears, silences, things that could never be taken back. But there was also something real, something that had always been mine. And finally, I had it. As for Claire, I called her a week later. We talked for 2 hours. It was the first real conversation we had ever had. She told me the reason she had always kept her distance was fear. Fear that if she got too close to me, she would break the promise she made to my father and tell me everything. She had stayed cold to protect a truth I deserved to know. Sometimes love doesn't look the way you expect. Family is complicated. The people who hurt us are often the same people trying to protect us in their own broken ways. Emma's story reminds us of one thing. The truth, no matter how long it's hidden, eventually comes out. And sometimes love does too. If this story touched you, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the Sophia and Her Stories channel. Every week we share new family stories because every family has a story worth telling. See you in the next video. Goodbye.